Okay, good evening. At this time, I'd like to call to order the February 1st East Ridge Planning Commission meeting. Thank you all for being here tonight. Before we get started, can we have the roll call, please, Janet?
Chairperson Chauncey.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Tuggle.
Here.
Commission Member Howe.
Here.
Commission Member Miller.
Here.
Commission Member Spence.
Here.
Okay, before we get down to new business, we will discuss the approval of the minutes from our December 7th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting. I trust everyone's had an opportunity to look over the minutes. If no one has any additions or subtractions, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Spence and a second by Commissioner Howell. Anything else? Any questions? You have roll call, please, Janet.
Vice Chairperson Tuggle.
Yes.
Commission Member Howe.
Yes.
Commission Member Miller.
Yes.
Commission Member Spence.
Yes.
Chairperson Chauncey.
Yes. Hey, first item on the agenda is going to be the request of Ralter Realty Limited Partnership to have the property located at 6205 Ringgold Road, tax map ID number 169LF040, rezoned from R1 Residential District and M2 Light Industrial District to C2 General Commercial District.
That's correct, Mr. Chauncey. It appears that this parcel was partially engulfed during a blanket rezone, which gave it three different zoning districts, which was R1, M2, and C2. The parcel is currently zoned C2, M2, and R1, so the applicant is seeking approval from this board to have the entire parcel rezoned to C2 to be more consistent with the surrounding area. There was no concerns in RPA other than the adjacent single-family homes being possibly disturbed by future development. Stating buffering and limited use should be considered. Our landscape ordinance does require a 20-foot buffer when it adjoins a residential district, so there would be that buffer in place.
Thank you, Mr. Howe. 20-foot buffer. Okay, we have a representative here for Ralter Realty Limited Partnership.
Yes, sir.
If you wouldn't mind, sir, please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Joseph Smith-Rauter. Do you want me to spell it?
Please.
It's a difficult spelling. Yeah, SCHMISSRAUTER. Do you want a home or business address?
Business, please.
Yes, it's that's TPC Printing and Packaging, 6107 Ringgold Road, 37412.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith-Rauter. Did I say that right?
You said it great. Thank you.
Good enough. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to speak and discuss in regards to your rezoning request. I do want to add, maybe remind my fellow commissioners here that I think the most common question that we may have would be what would be your intentions with the property. And with that being said, you're not obligated to I guess, disclose any contractual or confidential agreements that you may have with third parties. So again, if you get asked what your intentions are, just, you can be, just describe it to the best of your ability. So with that being said, I'll let you go. I'll let you have the floor.
All right. Well, to begin with, what brought this zoning issue to our attention was we came up for some refinancing on our real estate, which is that 6205 parcel, as well as 6107, where our manufacturing plant's located. And in the appraisal process, this is the first time that this has come to our attention over 5 or 6 appraisals. it came to our attention that the 6205 parcel, there was multi-zones within that parcel. And so it became an issue in terms of viability and value in the appraisal process. So that was one of the driving forces behind wanting to get these zoning issues resolved and have it all consolidated into one zone C2. The other thing is that we don't have any contractual obligations right now. We don't, the property is not for sale, but we are considering, I mean, with the Border Cities initiatives that are out there right now, we are considering looking at a possible use of that property for some sort of a retail type development at some point in the future. But there are no plans at this point. Property's not for sale.
Okay. Thank you for that, sir.
Yes, sir.
Typically, when we have these rezoning cases, we will allow the public to either come forth and either speak with their concerns, whether they're for or against the rezoning of the property. Since we're still holding these meetings via electronic means, any residents had the opportunity to email me directly. And so what I've done here is I have one resident who has emailed me to voice some concerns or just address some things. And I'll go ahead and read this email. This email is from Marilyn Hadley. And she's located at the property address at 6508 Holiday Drive. She says, hello, my name is Marilyn Hadley. I'm the owner at the property at 6508 Holiday Drive, which is located right behind the property to be rezoned and shares the property line at 6205 Ringgold Road along the back of my entire yard. There is currently no fence or other barrier between my property and the subject property of the request. This has not really been an issue thus far, as there is a large building at 6205 Ringgold Road that hides my yard from Ringgold Road. However, I'm assuming as part of the rezoning of the commercial development, they plan to remove this warehouse type building currently on the property, which will expose the back of my property to Ringgold Road. I do not object to the rezoning of this property to commercial. It is on Ringgold Road, and so makes sense that someone should be able to build a commercial business on this property. I trust that the Planning Commission members will make a decision based on what is the best for our town. However, I would ask those making the request to be required, as you are able to do, to erect a privacy barrier at least 6 feet tall at the back of their property along the back of my yard that would prevent anyone from being able to enter into the backyard from their property and would keep workers and patrons of the new commercial venture from encroaching into my backyard. This would minimize any disruption in my ability to enjoy my backyard with my family and would also minimize the amount of trash entering my yard during and after the completion of the construction. I would also ask that they would make sure their construction and new business does not create any water runoff problems that impact my yard, as the property seems to currently be higher in elevation than my yard. I think in general, new businesses would want a privacy fence along the back of their business, as long as most likely do not want to look at me any more than I want to look at them. I'm assuming that Ralter Realty Limited Partnership and whoever they are representing in this rezoning request are both willing to plan to be a good neighbor and already planning to do the things I'm asking. I very much appreciate their consideration of my privacy in this matter in order to minimize any negative impact of their new venture on my property. Thank you, Marilyn Hadley. And that is all the communications that I've got from residents.
Could I address that email?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. First of all, there is the property was at one time a Methodist church there on the property, and that building was raised except for a gymnasium that's still sitting on the property. There are plans to take that building down, and what we absolutely would commit to is, even if there's no development of the property, when the gym comes down, and we've got a plan to try to do that sometime late summer, June, July, August, somewhere in there, we will erect a privacy fence that will connect with our fence that's currently in place at 6207 Ringgold Road. 6107 Ringgold Road, the TPC parcel. We would extend that fence across the 6205 parcel before there's anything done.
Okay, thank you for that. So you do plan on erecting at least a 6-foot privacy fence along the back side of that property, correct?
Yes, sir. And one other comment is that as far as runoff and stormwater, we've done a series of expansions here at our manufacturing facility next door at 6107. And we have complied to all of the East Ridge directives regarding stormwater runoff. There's a retaining area that's behind our building, and I'm sure that anything that might be developed at some point later on in the future could easily connect to our retaining pond. But as I said, there's no plans at this point to sell or develop that property.
Okay, thank you, sir. At this time, I'll just go ahead and allow my fellow commissioners, if they have any questions for the applicant. Now would be the time.
If I may. I actually have unique knowledge about this property, which fortunately does not constitute any conflict, because it was about 3 or 4 years ago before the property was removed from the market, but we tried to buy that land. And one of the items is, I believe that existing gymnasium is 18 feet from the property line, so it's within the 20-foot setback requirement. If that building is not taken down, I'm assuming that would be grandfathered in. Does anybody know the answer on that?
Mike, did you get that question?
I didn't, I'm sorry.
He was referring to the current building that's there now. It's being used as a gym. I think his question was in the event that, well, as the building exists now, it doesn't meet that setback requirement. In the event that that building is not taken down, would it be grandfathered in?
Would.
Yeah.
It's the existing building.
Right, yeah, from the old church. It is a 0 sales tax basis piece of land in East Ridge. It's one of the last ones we have remaining. It's a great piece of property from the investment standpoint for the city and the income potential for the city. I think it would be a great addition to C2.
Anyone else?
I'd just like to make a comment. The Smith-Rotter family has been a good friend, a good neighbor of East Ridge for many, many years. How many, Joey?
Well, we've been here since 1968.
Okay, I knew it'd been a long time. I don't see any reason for that to change. This obviously needs to be commercially zoned, so I think it's fine. I don't see a problem with it at all.
Anything else? Any other questions or comments?
To me, it makes perfect sense to zone that commercial. Yeah. Just to be in compliance with what's up and down Ringgold Road.
Yeah.
The east and the west of it. So just bring it into compliance.
Yeah. Okay. So I see no other questions or comments. I will entertain a motion in regards to the rezoning request.
I'll make a suggestion that we, what am I supposed to say?
I'm going to make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve this rezoning.
Second.
Had a senior moment.
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Spence and a second by Commissioner Howell. Any other questions? I see none. Can I have roll call, please, Janet?
Vice Chairperson Tuggle,
Yes.
Commission Member Howe,
Yes.
Commission Member Miller,
Yes.
Commission Member Spence,
Yes.
Chairperson Chauncey.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Smith-Ryder. This has been approved through the Planning Commission. It will go before City Council for final approval.
Thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate all of your all's efforts. Thank you.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Thank you. Okay, the last item on the agenda tonight is going to be amend the zoning ordinance for Appendix A, use matrix for liquor stores.
It's basically what it would do would remove the wording prohibited in all zones in the use matrix. And basically what the use matrix is it outlines all the uses within the zoning if they're prohibited or allowed. So, and basically it would allow liquor store operations within the C2, the C1, C4, C5, and C6 commercial districts.
Thank you, Mr. Howe. Okay, anybody have any questions for Mr. Howe before I entertain a motion?
Move approval.
I would like to have some discussion.
Okay, was that a motion? I got a motion to approve.
I withdraw it.
Okay. Well, you can, technically Robert's rule says we need to make a motion. If you want to make a motion for discussion purposes, that would be the more appropriate thing to do.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion.
Got a motion to, for discussion purposes. Do I got a second?
Second.
My question is, so we're going to zone this for liquor stores, is that correct?
I believe we're changing the actual ordinance. Mike, can you?
That's correct. We're moving some wording where it says prohibited to allow that in this commercial district. But there again, I think it's ordinance 1139, our new liquor ordinance would only allow 2 package liquor stores within the city, no matter what you're zoned at.
Well, my question is, why are we eliminating the most highly visible, highly trafficked area of the city for a liquor store? We've had no public discussion about it. So I think, in my opinion, I think we need to table this until the citizens are allowed to talk about what they want to do and how they want to do it. They voted to put it on the record. They voted to have it done. I've had several phone calls, want to know why.
Well, the city council has already voted on the ordinance and it's passed second and final reading at this point. So I guess to piggyback on your comment there, kind of where the city's at as far as the actual ordinance part of it.
I think you had the first reading and public hearing on January 14th and the second reading and passed on January 28th. So you did have public hearing on January 14th.
So there is no opportunity to have another public hearing before we do this?
Well, there would be. The public hearing would come about if we approve this. This would have to go to city council. All this is doing is allowing liquor stores to locate within these C districts. That's all this is. It doesn't, we can't add any different conditions or whatever on the liquor store because that's involved in ordinance number 1139, and that was approved and adopted by the city council at the 28th.
Okay.
January 28th. So all we're doing here right now, liquor stores are prohibited in commercial districts, are they not?
That's correct. They are
So
prohibited.
all this is saying here is we're going to allow them in commercial districts. But this would revert back to the fact of ordinance 1139, which only prohibits 2 liquor stores, one east and one west on
No,
Ringo
they're
Road.
not. They're from the tunnels to what?
They're broken down into 2 districts, District A and B. District A being from the tunnels down to Belvoir.
Yeah,
District B is from Moore Road down to Spring Creek Road.
So we're totally eliminating the west end of the city where all the development is currently.
Correct. Well, we're eliminating the east end from Spring Creek essentially down to the state line.
Okay, well, I understand what Mr. Miller's saying here, and I needed to get that out in the air because I've had several phone calls about it. This is not the forum for it to happen. So
Yeah, that's,
if you want to go ahead with your motion, I'm good with it.
I would have the same topic on my misgivings about the city council resolution not going far enough and have no bearing on whether or not we should allow liquor stores in C commercial zones. So
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, do I hear a motion in regards to the amending the zoning ordinance for Appendix A?
so move. Motion made.
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Miller. Do I have a second?
second.
Got a second by Commissioner Tuggle. Any other questions or discussion? I see none. Janet, can I have a roll call, please?
Vice Chairperson Tuggle,
Yes.
Commission Member Howe,
Yes.
Commission Member Miller,
Yes.
Commission Member Spence,
Yes.
Chairperson Chauncey.
Yes. Okay, that concludes all the items on the agenda tonight. Thank you all for coming, and we'll officially adjourn this meeting. Thank you.